Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hello, my name is Dr. Lisa Greene, and I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm an optometrist and practice full scope eye care. And I'm here to talk to you about something that I find very compelling and a necessary story that needs to get out, because seeing clearly is not the same as being healthy. This man walked into my clinic believing he had perfect vision, and he left knowing that he was going blind from a disease that's preventable, but because he had not had his regular eye exams, it went undetected. You might think, well, perhaps this man was older and maybe at the end of his life, but it was exactly the opposite. This is a vibrant man, only 50 years old, living a full life, working a beautiful career, married with children, very active. And suddenly the brakes were put on what he believed to be his fabulous life, because he realized that he would soon no longer have vision that allowed him to be able to drive. The shock is that this was preventable. And unfortunately, many women often put off routine care. We wait until we believe something hurts or doesn't feel good. We don't go and have the routine care because our lives get busy. We're busy taking care of the household, managing the family's activities, perhaps helping children with homework, helping our elderly parents as they are unable to do all of the things that they once had done. We get busy. And simply going and having routine checks in our healthcare system, our system is really designed to be reactive. And it's been that way in the past because we did not have good technology that could really help us in the early stages of an onset of a disease. But that's no longer the case. Now we have beautiful technology that allows us to see things ahead of time. So instead of waiting for that patient to go over the waterfall, we can bring that patient back, put them on the lazy river by asking them to maybe change their lifestyle, asking them to take some nutraceuticals, maybe a pharmaceutical medication is needed. But often it's little changes, especially early in the process. So my quest is to get us, especially women, to seek that care earlier, to not wait until something is wrong or something hurts or feels bad before we seek care. If we look at this body that we're given, and we think about, I'm going to use the analogy of a car, because many people have a car and understand how it works and the things that need to be done. But imagine if you were given the car of your dreams today, and whatever that car might be, would you wait until that car has 100,000, 200,000 miles before you would seek any kind of routine care or maintenance on it? Would you just fill it with gasoline and run it until one day you go, I think it's not running as good as it used to. Maybe I'll take it to the mechanic. Now it's 10 years old and it's got 200,000 miles on it. No, we know that routine care along the way will maintain that car. Well, this body and these eyes are the only vehicle that we have, at least here on this earth. And we need to care for it like we would that prized or precious car. We need to think about doing those routine maintenance things so that we stay on the lazy river and always maintain a level of health and wellness that allows us to live a vibrant and active life all the way into our 90s or hundreds or beyond. We don't want to have these choices where we're not taking a stand, taking the action to actually go and have this health care, limit our ability to live that vibrant life. We deserve that and need to think of it as an investment in ourselves, an investment in our health and wellness, so that in our later years, we're not a burden on our children and we're enjoying a very vibrant and fun and active lifestyle. So we need to seek care earlier. We need to seek care consistently, not once every 20 years. I had a patient today whose mother has glaucoma. We keep talking about glaucoma. And she had not had an eye exam for 20 years because her vision for distance was okay and she just was using readers. And unfortunately, that leaves her very vulnerable, just like the man I talked about at the beginning of this story. And taking the responsibility to make those appointments and be consistent. We can do this. We need to care for ourselves first. On the airplane, they tell us when there's trouble, when there's turbulence, if the oxygen mask comes down, we have to put it on ourselves first. And we ladies are the ones that will reach and will try to put it on everyone else in our family first. But we have to remember, we have to take care of ourselves first to be able to then take care of those others.
Lisa, thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story with us today. It's absolutely intriguing what prevention can do in terms of healthcare in all aspects of our lives. So when did you realize that your work was more about not just eye care?
Early in my career, when we were still using paper charts, I would walk out into the waiting room and I would call a name and I would have a date of birth. And I realized that sometimes someone who was 50 years old on the paper, a 70-year-old woman, or at least I thought was 70 years old, would stand up. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when I would call the paper, it would be a 50-year-old patient, but someone I thought was 30 would stand up. And I started to realize that these choices, these changes that we do early in our life, the ones that looked younger were often eating a better diet, exercising more regularly, maybe not smoking or drinking heavily. And then the patients who were looking older than they were had been following these lifestyles that if someone had coached them perhaps earlier in their life, they would be at 50 years old looking young and vibrant and healthy instead of 20 years their elder.
That's really sad. So why do you think people wait until something hurts before taking action?
I believe that, at least in modern medicine, that's what we've been taught to do. I believe in perhaps, centuries earlier, people took more herbal remedies and did things ahead of time. But now it's very much you have a pain, here's a pill. You have a discomfort, a headache, you take a pill for that. You have an infection, we give you an antibiotic. No one talks to us about what we could be doing to change our diet, our lifestyle, the amount that we move each day to impact whether or not we continue to get headaches or infections or things along those nature. We're not programmed. I don't think our grandparents had many solutions, so we didn't see them seeking preventative care. Maybe not even our parents had access to preventative care. And now more people in the world do have access. And those that do, I would highly encourage them, to seek out a family doctor or have an eye exam.
So what is the biggest myth that people believe about eye health?
I believe the biggest myth is that they believe their eyes are healthy if their vision is clear. And that is not true. There are so many things that can be happening in their eye, going undetected until very late in the disease process. And patients just don't realize that can even happen.
And that's why you say good vision doesn't equal good health.
Exactly.
So tell us about how the eye reveal what's happening in the rest of the body.
There are over 200 diseases that can be detected during an eye exam. Things like breast cancer. I had a gentleman who was telling me about his sisters and mother had breast cancer, and it ran in his family. And I looked at his retina and I realized that I saw a lesion in his eye and sent him to go have a mammography done because I believe he already has breast cancer. So looking in the eye can reveal so many things, the condition of the blood vessels, whether or not there are a little hemorrhage can indicate sleep apnea or diabetes or uncontrolled high blood pressure. There are so many different types of cancers that can be found in the eye, often before it's detected in other parts of the body or before the patient realizes something other than maybe they feel more tired. So they're coming to the eye doctor thinking a new pair of glasses will help strengthen their eyes.
So what's broken in our healthcare systems when it comes to prevention, do you think?
I think easy access to healthcare. In our area, and I believe we're representative of at least the United States, there just aren't as many physicians, or there seems to be a lot of churning of doctors going from practice to practice or leaving different areas and going to other areas. So for my patients, when I want to send them to a primary care doctor, they often say, who's taking new patients? How can we, get enrolled, or how can we get started? And that's where starting with, often it's easier to access an optometrist. So coming to see us, and then we can make the necessary referrals to help get that person in the healthcare system.
So how do you explain these complex medical ideas in a way that people can actually hear?
I use a lot of car analogies. I really do. Patients seem to understand that it's important, because a car is a precious commodity. It allows us to get to work or to take our children to school, or, just to be mobile. And patients seem to understand. I think fathers do a great job of telling their kids how to take care of those vehicles. And somehow along the way, we've just lost that knowledge or that understanding that, that our body is like that. And so when I use a car analogy and then they go, oh, I understand that. Yes. Okay. Now I get it.
Oh, I love it. So what personal values drive the way that you practice and lead?
I really believe that my heart is all about helping others lead their best life. I do mission work in other countries to help women and children who are in disadvantaged situations to lead their best life. I want people to understand that they have a choice on what their future is. They may not be able to change what's happened in the past, but we can take today and make tomorrow a better day by changes and by educating the individuals about things I'm seeing, or when I'm going down and other areas of the world and assisting, really helping them understand the opportunities that can be available to them, and maybe trying to help open some doors to allow that access. I really enjoy helping others be the best that they can be.
So what kind of a legacy do you want your work to leave behind, Lisa?
So my personal mission statement is that I see lives changed by and through what I do. And so my legacy is first to my team. I invest in develop. They're mostly young women. This is often their first job. I bring in a coach and I bring in development so I can see their lives change. The second level of that mission, that personal mission of mine, is seeing the lives of my patients change. And the things that we do, the technology that we bring in, that it can impact them and show them, there's often some beautiful visuals that I can show the patient so that they can see what's changing and what action needs to happen. And the third level of I see lives changed by and through what I do are the people that I'm able to help outside of the clinic, both locally in the mission work that I do here in the area, as well as abroad.
That's wonderful. So what do you wish women understood about prioritizing their health before they prioritize everyone else?
They are the trunk of the tree. They are the stability. They're what everyone else, all the other branches, the spouse, the kids, the jobs, the other things, everything hinges on them. And if they're not strong and healthy, the rest of it falls apart. So they need to really invest in themselves, invest in spa days or days where they take some time to not be busy and to rest and to allow the body to repair so that they can stay strong and feed all of those other areas of their family that depends on them.
Yes, that is so true. If you're not well, you can't take care of your family, even if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
So if you could redesign the healthcare system for the next generation of women, what would you do differently?
I would normalize having a family practitioner and eye exam together and start it at a much younger age. Here in the United States, an eye exam is not required for children entering school. And that's when those kids are learning to read. And that's really the doorway or the pathway to success. So those little girls, if they're not getting eye exams when they're little, they maybe aren't as successful in school. And if they desire a career, maybe aren't able to hit that career path because something has held them back. So my ideal healthcare system would include routine eye exams on kids, boys and girls, starting very young to help them to really impact their lives.
I love that. Now, looking back, how has using your voice beyond the clinic changed the impact and the reach of your work?
I think it's probably had the biggest impact on some of the projects that I do in outside of the country, in Central and South America primarily. I've seen the benefits of having a successful practice and being able to fund some projects and to work with organizations that are really helping. One of the projects I do builds homes for women who are at risk of losing their children due to poverty. They don't have a safe structure. And so we go in and work in communities and build structures so that the unit can stay together. I think that has been just one of the greatest joys. Again, being able to reach out and help someone live their best life, even with a modest home, is a life changer for them.
And these are the little things that we take for granted, right? Just
Absolutely.
having a roof over your head and being able to take care of your kids. That's absolutely crazy. Now, what is one simple action that every listener who's listening to us right now can take this month to protect their future health?
Schedule your exams. Pick up the phone or go online, whatever your healthcare system might be, and seek out those preventative appointments, those exams, so that you can truly find out if everything is okay. It's like lifting the hood of the car and checking all the oil and checking all the filters and the fluids to make sure everything is okay. Even when our car runs beautifully, we do those things. And if women can just make that appointment so that all of the things can be checked to make sure that they really are as healthy as they believe they are.
And what does a preventative mindset really look like in daily life on a day-to-day basis?
It's the choices that we make each day, the little things that we do that impact, it's cumulative over 20 and 30 years. They say it's 80% of what we do. So if 80% of the time you're eating healthy, you're moving, you're exercising, you're meditating, you're doing all of those things, 80% of the time, that's what counts. You're allowed the 20% error rate, or maybe not having perfect days every day. But if we can just do those little things each day, make small decisions for the health of our future selves. If we really think about, taking care of ourselves today, but thinking of ourselves as that future person, it's like when I'm 80, what kind of health do I want? Well, the choices I make now when I'm in my 50s impacts what I'm going to be like when I'm 80. And I think women, we need to start thinking of ourselves that way, that we are curating and caring for this wonderful vessel that holds our soul and our spirit. And we want it to carry us vigorously into, our late years, into our 80s, 90s, and beyond.
Now, using metaphors really helps people remember information and take in knowledge. And something really struck me the last time we talked when you mentioned staying on the lazy river. Tell us a little bit more about what that actually means in terms of life.
So often we seek out medical care, or we find ourselves going over the waterfall, and we want our medical system to try to bring us back up the waterfall. We're going over the waterfall. We've got a disease. We've got, maybe it's diabetes or something. Maybe it's cancer. And we're praying that they can pull us back up the river to safety. Where I believe if you are getting the preventative screenings and routine care, you back it up a few years and you make those little changes. Maybe you stop smoking or stop eating sugar or whatever it is that might help that disease process slow down. And that puts you on the lazy river where you can enjoy a beautiful, fulfilling life and not have the worries of going over the waterfall.
My two last questions for you are a bit of a thought experiment, Lisa. In the first one, I'm going to teleport you back to the younger you, this young woman who went into the world of medicine, wanting to leave the planet a better place. If you could go back and give her 3 nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those 3 nuggets of wisdom be?
I would go back and tell myself to not be so hard on myself or expect things to be perfect the first time that you do it. As a young practitioner, I think I was very concerned or nervous that I would maybe not find something or make a wrong diagnosis. And I realized that it's more important to care about the patient and to always seek and be curious, but to not be so fearful that something might go wrong. And the third would be, I would tell myself to take more time off. I really, in my early career and as a young girl, I always worked really hard and I didn't take enough downtime. Now, as I look back, it's like, I wish I would have taken more trips or more time off just to relax more. I didn't really learn to start relaxing until about a year or two ago. And I wish I had done that earlier in my life.
That's some really good advice to all of us, actually. Slow down and take time to smell the roses.
Exactly.
In between all of the work. Next question is futuristic, and I'm going to teleport you into the future to go and meet the 90-year-old you. And you being in preventive medicine, you'll probably live to 120, if not longer. If we could go and meet this wise woman who has led you up until this point, what will you say to her when you finally meet her?
I would say I would tell her how proud I am of her, because I believe as a 90-year-old, I'll still be at least seeing patients part-time. My son is in practice with me. I plan to always go to the clinic because I love people. I love hearing the stories of my patients. And I think I would tell her, good job, well done. Thank you for being more mindful about doing the right things each day, the little things to keep me as a 90-year-old healthy and moving. I've actually got my 110th birthday party planned. I've started inviting people so they can start planning now so that they are vibrant and active for this hike that I have planned in one of my favorite places on the planet. So I would hopefully look back or look ahead and tell her that I'm proud that she's continued to do the things to maintain her vibrancy.
I absolutely love that. Now, is there anything else that I should have asked you and I didn't? Parting thoughts to our community.
No, just that I think, that women need to nurture each other, encourage each other, and healthcare is one aspect of it. Maybe it's relaxing more is the other aspect of it. But I'm very thankful for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And thank you for your work, bringing an awareness to issues that can be prevented. And because of the internet, people can get access to you online. I have your website at the bottom of the screen. Please share this podcast with anyone else you know who needs to be taking care of their eye health. Connect with other people, tag them. This is a very important subject, something that can be prevented, that can change the entire trajectory of your life. So I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And Lisa, thanks again for this interview.
Thank you.
Bye for now, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.